The sky above the blood-bone wasteland suddenly split apart like a massive mirror shattered by an unseen blow. Suspended in midair hovered an ancient skeleton, dark teal runes circling its frame in endless rotation. It raised a hand, and the great Tao of primordial water surged forth like a roaring flood. Spiritual rain poured onto the barren earth below each drop, gleaming like jade, carrying both life-giving vitality and a crushing pressure that made all living things tremble. Elsewhere, deep beneath the earth, 7 pillars of black seals began to quake violently. The energy readings on the monitoring stone platform spiked beyond any limit recorded in the past century. Ancient formations cracked apart and demonic chi thin as mist started seeping outward. Within the heavenly severing stone, Chenmo opened his eyes. He could clearly sense that heaven and earth were shifting on their axis. It wasn't merely an increase in spiritual energy, something far older had awakened. At the very heart of the seal, a thin fissure appeared within the darkness. From that crack came a hoarse sigh, as though something had been waiting for 1,000 years. And now it knew the time had finally come. The sigh echoing from the fissure in the darkness did more than shake the seal. It triggered a full crimson alert across the sacred palace's monitoring array. Inside, the central Grand Hall formation masters shot to their feet as the 7 black dragon seal pillars flared to life simultaneously. Fluctuation readings surged past safe thresholds for the first time in over a century. One of the auxiliary seals had been broken, but not by the sacred palace. For 100 years, the sacred palace and the profound sea had secretly collaborated to decipher the grand seal beneath the blood-bone wasteland. Ancient texts described it as the gateway to transcendence, a place rumored to conceal the path to godhood, the ultimate desire of every supreme cultivator. But the event that had just occurred raised a chilling question. If this truly was a heaven-sent opportunity, why was demonic chi leaking out? Leng Yan, chief steward of the sacred palace, stared silently at the fracture displayed within the formation array. If all 7 black dragon seals collapsed, the core seal would not hold. Whatever was imprisoned inside divine relic or catastrophic horror would be released. And the most troubling part was not that the seal was weakening. It was that someone else had already moved one step ahead of them. That very night orders were issued to seal off the entire blood-bone wasteland. Leng Yan did not wait for the Council of Elders to conclude. He directly summoned Ji Han, commander of Crimson Moon City, the man who understood the region's earth veins better than anyone alive. If someone has interfered with the seal, I want to know who it is before the next pillar falls. Ji Han departed at once. The moment he entered the sealed perimeter, his divine sense compressed, as if slamming into an invisible wall. Demonic chi drifted like thin mist among forests of bleached bones. Fresh traces of battle scarred the ground. Several patrolling martial cultivators had vanished without a trace. At the same time, within the heavenly severing stone, Chenmo continued observing the strange transformations within his inner microcosm. He realized the new awakened water origin power was no mere stroke of fortune. It was resonating with something deep beneath the earth. A faint pull tugged at his consciousness, drawing him toward the core seal. 2 trajectories began to take shape. One man hunted the seal breaker in the shadows. One man followed the tremors of heaven and earth in silence. Neither yet knew that with every step forward, they were moving closer to the heart of a secret capable of overturning the entire continent. Ji Han followed the trail of demonic chi all the way to the core of the earth veins where the 7 black dragon seals converged. There he did not find the one who had broken the seal, but something far more terrifying. One of the pillars had not been forcibly shattered. It had been unlocked from within. At the heart of the ancient formation stood Xuanzu, the grand formation master of the profound sea, facing the pitch-black fissure. Beside him was an unfamiliar man whose calm gaze was chillingly still. When Ji Han appeared, the stranger offered a faint smile. "You've spent 100 years searching for the path to godhood," he said softly. "Yet you have no idea what it is you're truly opening." At that moment, the formation patterns beneath their feet reversed direction. The demonic chi no longer leaked in chaotic streams. It began flowing with deliberate order as though awaiting a summons. Far away within the heavenly severing stone, Chenmo suddenly witnessed a vision piercing through his consciousness. The 7 dragon phantoms were not guarding a treasure. They were restraining a colossal form, submerged in endless darkness. In that instant, every assumption collapsed. The seal was not a gateway to divinity. It was a chain suppressing an existence that had never belonged to this world. The moment the truth was laid bare, the formation beneath Ji Han's feet erupted. The demonic chi that had been flowing in eerie order suddenly turned into a raging torrent. Xuanzu stepped back, no longer bothering to conceal his intent. The unfamiliar man moved forward, the aura around him shifting his skin, taking on a dark metallic sheen like molten iron cooling into black steel. "The boundary has been broken," he murmured. "The demon sovereign has felt it." Before Ji Han could retreat, distorted figures emerged on all sides. The missing patrol cultivators had returned, but their eyes were hollow, their bodies etched with writhing demonic sigils. They charged without hesitation like puppets bound to a single will. At the heart of the seal, the 2nd black dragon pillar split apart with a thunderous crack. A deep, muffled roar rose from beneath the earth, shaking the entire blood-bone wasteland. Within the heavenly severing stone, Chen Mo felt the tremor like a hammer striking his soul. Dark fissures began appearing within his inner world, as though demonic chi were searching for a way in. The sacred palace received one final signal before the formation array went completely silent. The core seal was spiraling out of control, and this time it was no longer a hidden conspiracy. It was an open awakening. The third black dragon seal pillar collapsed with a dull detonation, like the heart of the earth being torn apart. Jihan was blasted backward, blood staining the fractured formation beneath him. Before his eyes, the man shrouded in dark aura completed his transformation. Behind him rose the phantom of 3 heads and 6 arms, each breath unleashing surging waves of demonic chi. "The chains have long since rotted," he said coldly. "You were merely late to the truth." Xuanzu's betrayal was no longer concealed. With his own hands, he reversed the remaining formation patterns. Demonic chi erupted like a rising tide, severing every connection to the sacred palace. The monitoring signals died. Reinforcements could no longer locate the core seal. The corrupted cultivators closed in from all sides. Jihan tried to break through, but a brand of black light seared itself into his chest, a tracking and corroding mark. His strength drained away consciousness, dimming beneath the thunderous roars echoing from deep underground. Within the heavenly severing stone, cracks of darkness split across the sky of Chen Mo's inner world. The dragon phantoms trembled in unrest. The demonic chi was no longer at the periphery, it had reached the core. Half of the core seal had shattered. The demon sovereign had not yet fully descended, yet the world had already begun to change color. And for the first time, hope no longer seemed to stand with humankind. In the instant, when every connection was severed, Chen Mo did not resist the demonic chi flooding into his inner world. Instead, he let his consciousness sink to the deepest layer of his soul, where the 7 dragon phantoms were trembling violently. Within the dark fissures, he saw the true structure of the black dragon seals. They were not merely chains. They were a conversion conduit, a two-way formation. For 100 years, the sacred palace had focused only on reinforcing the sealing aspect. No one had ever attempted to activate the other side. Chen Mo shifted his hand seals. The newly awakened water origin power within the heavenly severing stone began to circulate in reverse. The demonic chi was no longer repelled, instead it was drawn inward, dismantled, and restructured into pure primordial energy. At the heart of the blood-bone wasteland, the rising tide of demonic aura faltered for a single suspended breath. The black brand on Jihan's chest flared with heat, then trembled as if interfered with by an unseen force. For the first time, the 3-headed 6-armed figure frowned. Someone has touched the core formation. The heavenly severing stone radiated light through layers of earth and stone. Rather than attempting to mend a seal that had long since rotted, Chen Mo chose what no one had ever imagined. He would redefine it. Light from the heavenly severing stone shot straight into the sky above the blood-bone wasteland, tearing apart the veil of demonic chi that had blanketed it. Deep underground, the ancient formation fully reversed. The demonic tide no longer surged upward, it was dragged back down instead like a raging sea caught in a colossal whirlpool. The 3-headed 6-armed figure roared as the phantom behind him wavered violently. "Impossible. You dare use the seal to refine me." Chen Mo stepped into the heart of the upheaval dragon phantoms revolving behind him and reflected within his eyes. He did not reinforce the old chains, he transformed the entire 7 black dragon seals into a grand transmutation array. Demonic chi was crushed, dismantled into its most fundamental components, and converted into pure primordial energy that poured endlessly into his inner world. The black brand on Jihan's chest shattered. The corrupted cultivators collapsed one after another, the demonic sigils on their bodies dispersing like ash in the wind. A final howl echoed from the abyssal fissure, then gradually faded. The seal was no longer a decaying prison, it had become a new energy core for the land. The sky slowly cleared. But Chen Mo understood this was not the end. It was only the first time humanity had laid hands upon a forbidden law. The demon sovereign was not yet fully extinguished. If you'd like to follow the next chapter as the world truly steps into a new era, comment 1 below.